Hello, Mzansi. Welcome to it. Another edition of GameON, brought to you by Hollywoodbets. And my oh my, with the festive season having come and gone, there's so much to talk about, not only the local game, but out in Germany as well as England. So we'll have Jerry's Kosana joining us later. I am Caesar Mapena, of course, and proud to be in the company of Shane McGregor in discussing what's been happening out in England. And Shane, good to be in your company. So much to talk about. Starting off with Newcastle, who seem to be the Newcastle we were hoping to see a couple of years ago. They're thereabouts in the running now at the top of the table, or towards the top of the table, after a 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, good to be here with you again. 5 games, they've got results over this Christmas period. It just shows you that Christmas period, how important it is to teams, and so the teams that are struggling drop down the table, but they've been brilliant. I mean, back to the old Newcastle we know. The big thing about this is they've got all their players back from injury. You know, they haven't got the biggest squad in the country. Mm-hmm. So going back to that, it's looking good. And been playing well and been scoring goals. And, you know, it's very difficult to break them down. They're a decent team at the back. And they get the goal and they just keep on going. So Isak's been superb.
Certainly has been.
You know, getting the goals. Good number 14, I think. Reminds me of another goal scorer. Anyway.
Another, what, locally? It was locally?
Yeah, but a long time ago.
But
anyway, you know, they are scoring goals, which is a good thing. Let's not go there. It's a good thing, you know. And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're scoring goals and they know how to defend, and that's a recipe for success.
Well, scoring goals, again, Manchester City, they're back to goal-scoring ways. They concede one, but win comfortably, 4-1 against West Ham United. Is Pep, as he resurrected the ship here, and is he steering it in the right direction in time to maybe make a run for it later on in the season?
Pep is back.
You reckon?
But I don't think they're back in to make a run for the title. Their biggest goal, I think, now would be to get into the top 4. And that's, for me, that's going to be a win for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Champions League, that's what they're looking for. They can't be out the Champions League, not a club of their stature. But, you know, they're scoring goals again, which is where they were going wrong. They weren't scoring. They are conceding, but they're scoring, and that's the main thing, you know, for them. Big wins, the last 2 wins, but they've got to keep on going. I know they're going to be looking at players in the transfer window. They have to bring in 1 or 2 players, but as long as they keep on scoring, they'll be okay.
We've discussed the need for goals at another club. That's Arsenal. 1-1. Their score against Brighton Hove away from home.
Yeah.
Arsenal. This game for Arsenal was away from home. Do they need? We've discussed this again, and the more time goes the season, the more this question becomes more and more serious. Do they need a bona fide goal scorer there?
They do. They need an out-and-out striker. That's the way Arsenal play, though. You know, they play around striker, false number 9, and that's the way they play. It's unfortunate that they do that. For me, they do need a striker. They need to bring someone in. Jesus has been scoring a few goals for them, so that's been a big plus. But they need a striker for me. They need to bring someone in that's going to score 10 goals, 15, 20 goals this season. Yeah. Not happening. They rely on other players to get goals, and they're relying on free kicks at the moment. Teams are working them out now, and without Saka, it's a different story. You know, he's a different class player. But they're going to be there and thereabouts. The good thing about it is they're not conceding many. Yeah, that's the good thing.
Well, Liverpool is scoring goals. Salah is flying this season, never mind his age. They scored 2 against United, but United, they're thereabouts, put up quite a battle, 2-2 the scoreline. Away in Liverpool, keep in mind, for United. And United fans are smiling at this.
I can see you're United.
Yeah, it's my favourite part of the show, you know?
To be very honest with you, Liverpool were lucky. You know, Maguire, great defensive strike right at the end.
Sure.
Thank goodness he put it in row Z. Otherwise, Liverpool would have lost. Alexander-Arnold was nowhere to be seen. Defended terribly. You know, he cost them the first goal. But Liverpool, at the moment, don't have defenders. I think we've got 3 or 4 fit defenders, and that's including 2 left backs. So it's a bit of a worry for me. It's a bit of a worry that they are conceding goals. But at least they're scoring still. And like you say, the man Salah just keeps on going. Hope he signs a new contract. We'll know soon. Him and Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold are out of contract, but looks like he's going.
Unbelievable numbers. 18 goals, 13 assists. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, Nottingham Forest, the surprise package of the season, beat Wolves 3-0, and they find themselves, in quite an interesting position where they are 3rd on the log standings coming into January, and wow.
Yeah, they would never have experienced this before, you know. Nosebleeds for them right on the top there. They won 5 games in December, so that just shows you where he's put them. You know what's nice there is their manager's a brilliant manager. He gets the best out of his players. My only worry about Forest at this stage is the squad, how big the squad is. And when games are coming thick and fast, you know, that's the problem. But at the moment, they're playing well. They're playing as a unit. Good luck to them. You know, they've got all the things in place. Let's see. Hopefully, they'll move on from this.
Well, tough ask. On Tuesday, they are at home to Liverpool.
Difficult game.
Yeah, for both.
For Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, I must be honest with you. If Liverpool get anything out of this, a draw, they'll be happy.
Yeah.
They are 6 points clear with the game in hand. But, I mean, for them, if they get anything out of this Forest game, they're going to be quite happy, especially with the amount of games they've played so far.
Another big game on Tuesday. Brentford at home to Manchester City.
Big game for Man City. You know, they are scoring goals. Brentford, they're very difficult to break down at home and very difficult to play against. A Hollywoodbets team, by the way. So, you know, they are a difficult team to break down. Man City have got to keep on scoring goals because they're going to concede. We all know that.
Yeah.
So they've got to keep on scoring 3-4 goals. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. But for City, they should get it right and keep their winning streak going.
A game that should be interesting here for even the neutrals. Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, something to look forward to. Big derby, but two sides that really can entertain.
They can entertain. You know, the big worry for Spurs is the amount of injuries they've got. I mean, they've been chucking youngsters in left, right and centre. I actually watched a midweek game where they chucked a new goalkeeper and a youngster, and he was brilliant. But this game is going to be 1-2 far for them. I think Arsenal will get their number here just because of the experience and because of, you know, they are playing decently and they need it more than Spurs do. So I think Arsenal will win.
Well, interesting times out in England when you consider that Liverpool and Arsenal are sitting at the top of the log standings. The chasing pack after that is what's interesting. Forest, Chelsea and Newcastle. I don't think anybody could have predicted that would be what we're staring at coming into or towards the middle of January. So that's us looking at England for now. We'll speak to Shane about Germany later on. After this, Local is Lekker with Jeres Kosana.
Wanna bet?
You are on.
Breaking news. Gogo takes a Brian's challenge to a penalty shootout.
Aziz again.
Let's go.
Brian looks confident here. What? He's completely missed it. Here comes Gogo. And what a kick! She's done it! She's done the impossible! Hollywoodbets, Azisheke, let's play.
Welcome back to GameON, and as we said before the break, Local as Lekker, and we are joined by Jeres Kosana to discuss what's been happening locally and the return of the PSL. So Saturday having no goals scored in 3 games. Sunday was the day worth talking about. Mushin Ertugral's back, leading Cape Town City. They host Kaizer Chiefs, and they beat Kaizer Chiefs with a 1-0 scoreline. Welcome back, Mushin Ertugral.
Compliments, Caesar.
Yeah,
2025.
Sure.
But unfortunately, if you're looking at 3 games played on a Saturday without goals in the new year, first week of the new year, that's disappointing. And at least on a Sunday, we had 3 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, but when it's in 1-1,
you know,
in a tough game with the tough conditions.
Game in rainy conditions. I mean, that was not conducive for football, but they did dish it out, and it was a nice game to watch. But of course, Kaizer Chiefs, so disappointing. You wouldn't expect them to lose again with all the expectations that were there, considering 2024 in a good state. Now they come 2025, they lose to Cape Town City away. It wasn't a good one, but what can you do?
Well, after they lost to Cape Town City, everyone was looking forward to what's going to happen midweek, of course, to the game against Stellenbosch, knowing that Stellenbosch is one of the danger sides this season. And then Chiefs bounced back impressively. They beat Stellenbosch 2-1 with Duba outstanding with a couple of goals.
Yeah, if you look at the starting lineup of Kaizer Chiefs, I wasn't pretty happy with the way the left back was conducting himself, because if you look at the goal that they conceded so early, it came from the left back where cross was not up to the way you want a player to behave. Being clumsy and of course the ball being repossessed and Stellenbosch scoring the goal. But I think for Chiefs to bounce back, thanks to Wandile. I mean, labafana abancane for mina, benza umsebenzi omkhulu. That's where sifuna ukubona ukuthi teams like Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, how do they groom these boys so that we get the football that we need? Because pasese nalomdlandla ukudlala man. They push a lot. So for me, it was a good showing. Good to score these 2 goals and for Chiefs to win the game that they really so needed, because Stellenbosch is not just a team you can walk over.
Yeah. Now, Cape Town City, Mushin, Wasai Chiefs, and everyone looked again to the game coming up ahead, Orlando Pirates, and the big question, who's coaches way to this team? Could he beat both the Orlando Giants, one after the other? The answer is yes, City, Shai Pirates, Vivian.
Hey, you have to go back and listen to his comment after the game when he said he was ready for Orlando Pirates. And then I was like, oh, wow, what a confident coach. Not knowing that he was really ready for Orlando Pirates, because the showing that they did against Pirates, was magnificent as well. And you look at the players' commitment. Sometimes, this thing a problem. If you just lose a coach now and another one comes in, normally the players get to be lost. But Cape Town City is a different team for me now, compared to when Eric Tinkler was still there, and now Mushin Etugal with the same players, not more time to prepare the team. But it's a different team. And when Babashaya Soweto Derby combined,
one after the other.
Hey man, same scoreline, same venue.
I have to ask you, Pirates, team Chiefs, because they're busy on the continent, they're busy locally as well. Both of them having to travel, both of them having to play locally as well when they return. And balancing that is a bit of a problem.
It is. You look at the number of games that they need to play, the traveling around the continent. It's so taxing to some of the players, because you'll expect a little bit of change in terms of the squad when they play in CAF games or play local in the PSL. But normally, if you look at Pirates, it's the same team that you expect to see in CAF and the PSL. You look at also Stellenbosch, same, little bit of Sundowns, because they're the ones that are having at least a big number of players to do the job. So also for Sundowns, they didn't have the problem that Pirates and Stellenbosch were facing, because after playing their CAF, they never played the PSL game midweek. So they had to go and play a CAF again. So I think for Bonnet it was a little bit of an advantage. But the top 3 teams, same teams that are competing in the CAF. So what's happening with the other teams that are in the PSL? Why don't they take advantage of that?
They should take advantage of that. Now, let's talk about the games that will be coming up. And of course, Makiesi, new coach Owen Tigama is back to the top flight of South African football. It must should be a very interesting game, of course, against Amazulu.
Yeah, it has to be. If you look at their game against TS Galaxy, these are the signs that maybe he's bringing some kind of a change, because they played to a 0-0 draw. So now I think maybe it will hype the players' performance as well. And maybe Owen is coming with a new version of how he wants his players to behave in the field of play. They've shown it with the Black Label. Maybe it's the time again to showcase what they've got in them.
Umushina Tugal is the talk of the town right now. Shai Chiefs, Shai Pirates, standing up against the Maruma Gallants.
It gets to a problem somehow. I hope the way Batalenga corner against the 2 Soweto Giants, it will be the same omen that they need to bring to the other game. But when they normally play these lowly teams, sometimes you know what's happened with the players. I hope Mushin maybe will change that mentality for them to continue winning, because you cannot just take the credit of the whole league because you've beaten Chiefs and Pirates, and then you think you can just walk over. Other teams will surprise you. I hope the mentality will be positive.
Now, for Chiefs as well, Bashai Stellenbosch, their fans will be hoping keep the good times rolling. Golden Arrows are coming up next at home for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah. I think these are the pressure games. Because sometimes when you just take the team down, that's where they rise up. Because even myself, I was a little bit worried to say Kaizer Chiefs going to play Stellenbosch, they'll be in big trouble. But they won 2-1. So now they're playing a team that is struggling, Golden Arrows. So what do you expect? You want to see a lot of Chiefs. And anything can happen, but I wish Chiefs to continue doing that, because it's good for our South African football when teams like Chiefs get to the mix of things.
Well, that's a big question, of course, going into the weekend. Can Kaizer Chiefs start to put together a few wins consecutively here in their quest to not only stay in the top 8, but climb up towards the top as well in joining the chasing pack? That's us in as far as our look at the local scene. On the other side of this, we go out and look at what's going on in Germany. Welcome back to GameON. Now, we started off with a look in England, then we've come here home locally to look at the beautifully South African game. Now we skip across to yet another interesting league. That's out in Germany, and Shane comes back, of course, to break down what's been happening in the Bundesliga. Shane, they take a nice 3-week break during the coldest time of the year, I think, out in Europe, and match day 15 delivered 37 goals, the most impressive match day so far.
Yeah, you know, they're very clever in taking their break over this period. But, you know, the big problem, is for some teams it's a good thing, for other teams it's not. Like if you're on a roll, you want to keep going, that's not good for you. But for the rest of the teams, you know, the ones that are struggling, it's a good time to have a break. And yeah, lots of goals. And that's one thing I like about this league, which is my second favourite league in world football. There's always a lot of goals, there's always a lot of entertainment, and it's a brilliant league to watch. Two of the top teams.
So the top teams, you do say, last year's champions, Leverkusen, within touching distance, which is quite impressive to say, against Bayern Munich, who lead the log standings right now. The fact that those two are battling it out in the fashion that they are and it's close always makes it interesting. Eintracht Frankfurt at third spot. No surprises there for you in the top 3?
Frankfurt is a bit of a surprise. You got your Leipzigs and your Dortmunds who are right there as well, but they're a bit of a surprising third. But with Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, you know, two young coaches, two coaches with a lot of ambition. You know, we all thought Alonso would be able to do it again, and just showing that he can, and that's a good thing. They're on with distance of Bayern Munich, but it's an interesting league to actually watch, you know, and what can we say?
Well, Bayern away to Borussia Mönchengladbach in what should be an interesting game, and a game where they're away from home.
Away from home, but you know what, Bayern are Bayern. And if you're a betting man, and that's what I like about this league, is if you look at the way Bayern have been playing, they score goals in both halves. So if you want to take a bet, you go Bayern to score in both halves, you know. So for me, they're going to have too much ammunition. Just my only worry is that break that they've had. But for me, I think they'll have too much ammunition. Hopefully, Kane will be back from his injury as well.
Well, Eintracht Frankfurt will be hoping to pick up 3 points here, but they, like Bayern, are away from home. They're up against St. Pauli.
Yeah, they should get the job done. St. Pauli haven't had the greatest of seasons, and Eintracht Frankfurt are going fairly well, third on the log, you know. So I can't see anything but a result for them.
Well, Leipzig, Werder Bremen, that should be for an interesting watch at the very least.
A great game to watch.
Yeah,
Leipzig are one of those teams that have been disappointing this season. When I say disappointing, they normally right up there in the top 3. So for them, they want to put that behind them, start getting results, start getting wins going forward. I think they'll win this one.
You speak of Leipzig, one also has to speak of how well they've gone about scouting and finding some of the best young talent out in Europe to come and represent them.
But that's been their biggest problem is, you know, they find these players and they sell them on. They are a selling club, and that's been their biggest problem. You can only do it for so long and it catches up with you.
But you know, some of the players
they find brilliant. I mean, they're playing all over Europe, you know. So, but I'm just saying that is the biggest problem. They're not holding on to those players. Hopefully now, with Klopp part of the whole group, maybe that'll change.
Now, let's talk about what, of course, is a huge talking point in the festive season here in South Africa. And of course, it's the Akasi Games. There was the El Clasico out in Vosloorus. Let's find out more about that. Brought to us, of course, by Hollywoodbets.
The people of Vosloorus may not have much, but they are hard-working people who live for the game of football. They are more than fans. They are the lifeblood of what we do. Together with Hollywoodbets, it's our job to put the best spectacles. This is El Clasico. My name is Kifense Moaki. I'm the founder of the El Clasico Cup. To me, this is more than just football. It's about bringing families, communities, and friends together over a period of time during the December holidays. The El Clasico Cup takes on 24 teams. We seed 8 teams from the previous edition. and then we all come in 16 new teams. So with the new 16 teams, they battle it out for each other. The last 8 teams from those 16 go on to meet the last 8 that were seeded. So in the second half of the tournament, we see 16 new teams that play over 2 legs. And then once they knock each other out, they go through to the quarterfinals and then a straight knockout from there.
The vibe is special because you understand ukuthi abantwana bavadile esikoleni kunabantu abavakashile basuke eKZN abanye bafika labadlala abanye bafika lababuke so they get to vibe with abantu aba different, you know. iHollywoodbets la ihlanganisa abantu abaningi ihlanganisa amakasi amaningi because kunamakasi ahluka endaweni asuke endaweni ehlukahlukene ezohlangana la eForce. So it's a battle of amakasi. It's also a battle of pride nejoy yokuthi ngiphuma kweliphi ikasi elingcono ukudlula elinye ngedisk. So iHollywoodbets iphakamisa yonke leyo nto.
Thina sikhule ngama 70s and 80s. Ama-tournaments anje wawungeke wathola especially uma ngabe ubheka ukuthi kusuke inkampani efana njengeHollywoodbets izofaka imali yayo kumanje. Thina we never had that opportunity. And when I see companies like these coming in who kasi football, who shoot grassroots soccer and put in their money, ngicabanga ukuthi our football can only go up. The standard can only go up.
The story of El Clasico is a beautiful one. We have been here before, and players like Aguero and Blackberry took center stage that time. In 2024, however, our focus was purely on this magical sport and the brand built by Gefense and his team. The action on the field was entertaining, and after many hard-fought battles, a few big teams getting knocked out along the way, and some new names rising to the top, there could only be one winner, and that came down to Umswenko and Via Foslu, the local favourites. The match ebbed and flowed, but an early goal from Via Foslu put them in the pound seat. Via Foslu could have easily wrapped up the contest on several occasions, but they were particularly wasteful in front of goal. Over the entirety of the game, Umswenko had no answers, and ultimately it was Via Foslu who got the job done.
I'm extremely happy, like I'm out of words. I don't even know what to say. Honestly. It was exceptional. Like the gents fought, like we fought till the last whistle. So it was exceptional for me. They were great, the gents put in their teams, coming into December, like to work extra hard and remain disciplined. I mean, it's exceptional.
Amakasi tournaments are everywhere. You know, they're not in a specific cast, they're everywhere. Akona Soweto, akona Etrishville, akona everywhere, Pitori, KZN. There's literally a Kasi tournament everywhere. So you don't have an excuse not to go.
Thank you to Hollywoodbets for helping us put together a great tournament. For us, this is just the beginning, and we look forward to working with you guys again in 2025.
Well, time flies when you are having fun. Thank you very much to Hollywoodbets, of course, in giving us more from the way of Kasi games out in El Clasico in Force. And thanks so much to Shane McGregor as well as, the legend that is Jerry Skosana for their time in joining us, me, Cesar Mapena, and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes, while we thank you at home in hoping to have a great 2025 pushing forward. Click, click, bang.